Hey, there aren't any long-term consequences to sleep deprivation, right? No one's figured that out yet. Nobody knows. Oh my god, my hair's still wet. Woo! Death? Nah, surely not. You'll die? Oh fuck. Oh god, not like this. Dramatically shortened lifespan. Well, what was I doing with it anyway? Look at this fucking email that I got, man. The shit you get as a quote-unquote debate streamer. It's fucking crazy. Here's the opportunity. We'll build you a fully custom-branded debate room for you and your community. Your logo, colors, rules, moderator tools, etc. You can run your live debates directly from this room while simultaneously streaming to YouTube/Twitch. Normally, room cost $100 on our site. For you specifically, free permanent custom build room. All income generated inside the room, like donations, virtual gifts, paid entry, subscriptions, will be shared 20% income of room with you. No upfront costs. We had 20% of my own donos. No upfront costs. We handle the tech moderation tools and backend. You focus on creating great content. Damn. Probably gonna have to not go with that one. Whew. You're losing money not agreeing to this? I don't see the problem here, Vaush. You seem ungrateful. I can barely see right now. Has Vaush seen Jimmy the Giant talk about him, the UK leftist? I'm right here, bro. You can just ask me. Who the fuck is Jimmy the Giant? It's never good when somebody says somebody talked about me. Okay, the most recent video from Jimmy the Giant is called The White Boy Identity Crisis. That can't possibly be good. What's the gist? Is he FD signifier for white people? Isn't FD signifier for white people? No, he goes at it from a good angle. Jimmy likes your take on Nick Fuentes. Oh, cool. Someone likes me. That's crazy. River's already meowing outside the door. River, if you want to... Are you coming in? Okay, come on. Now, normally I'd let you claw my clothing, but not while I'm wearing a nice shirt, okay? Look at this. We all love you, River. This is where he mentions you in the first 10 seconds. The culture war is over. This is from 2 months ago.
Good evening for a very cold Ukraine. I'm in Lviv at the moment. I wanted to talk about, I think the culture war is dying. I think it's running out of steam. And I was watching a video by Vaush, and he was reacting to a clip from Nick Fuentes. So it's 2 clips in particular that it has led me to sort of feel that maybe the steam is running out of the engine. One is clavicular. So clavicular went on to, if you don't...
Okay, my attention span has run out. However, I agree with whatever he's saying, unless it's bad. Hell yeah, brother. What are you doing back there? Oh my god, what are you up to? She meowed. You see this? What are you up to? Just chilling? Alright. Keeping you safe from squirrels and rats that might come through the window. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
Meow. You guys need to be professional pilots. Meow, 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 meow. This is why you're still flying RJ. Meow, meow, meow. It was funny the first 5 minutes. You're a pretty big riddler.
The first 5 minutes? How long have they been doing that, man? Oh my god. That's fucking funny. Meow, meow. You know what'll calm me down? The flatiron renovation. When I visited New York, it was still in scaffolding. Look at this shit, dude. Oh my fucking god. Hey, if you disagree with my opinions on suits, you're literally not allowed to think this is beautiful because this is informed by aesthetics from the same era as my suit preferences. If you're like, oh, dressing well, that's dumb. Why should life be beautiful? And then you look at this and you're like, oh, that looks good, then you're a hypocrite. I'm not joking. You know what would really sell this place? If everyone dressed inside of it looked like shit. That would really sell the aesthetic, you know? If everyone was just looked like absolute fucking stinky ass with poop on it. And you're like, oh, it doesn't matter, man. I only care about aesthetics when it's not on my body. Fuck you, piece of fucking hate. I fucking hate you. If you have Fetterman walks, that's what this building needs, man. 15 fucking Fettermans waddling around like fat penguins. That would really sell the beauty of the flatiron renovation. You know, I would love this, just a whole bunch of fucking Fettermans rolling around on the furniture and shitting and pissing everywhere. It doesn't matter, right? You know, aesthetics don't matter. It's dumb. Fuck, it's so pretty. Dude, the exposed steel girder in the center, actually, like, god tier, dude. What the fuck? Look at that. This is the corner of the flatiron. You go to that window and you look out. Oh my God. Did you see that shoe company announced an AI pivot? The stock shot way up because investors are retards. Oh yeah, Allbirds. That shit was funny as fuck. Those ugly fucking tech bro shoes. And they were like, we're now a point-to-point fucking AI service company or something, and their stock quadrupled overnight. Everything is computer. Did you know in 2002 the Pentagon did a war game for the US Navy entering the Persian Gulf? America lost badly. I never really trust these because it seems like these war games are just an excuse by the Pentagon to justify to Congress why they need $50 billion more in procurement. Like, the fascist always does this, you know? We are at the risk of being overrun by fucking Iran unless we spend even more money. At the same time, it's worth pointing out that there is literally no navy on Earth that could survive a sustained missile barrage from a neighboring country. Like, if you think about it, you can put tens of thousands of missile launchers in a country. You can only put so many interceptors on boats. The total, like, surface area of the boats isn't big enough to match the armaments that you can put across an entire country. Like, the surface area on the entire US fleet is pretty significant in terms of armaments, but it's like 1/billionth the land area of Iran. So, yeah, they're going to be able to overwhelm you, you know? Boats are smaller than countries? Maybe not like the Vatican City. Not all companies benefit from financialization. Could the left get them to lobby to eliminate? I'm really trying to not reducto ad absurdum. Are you asking if we could get Walmart to destroy one of the pegs of global capitalism? The answer is no. Walmart is not a single entity. Walmart as a business might not rely on financialization to the same extent as many other places, but no, for a million reasons, that will never, ever, ever happen. It is in their class interest not to. Also, keep in mind that even if the business of Walmart doesn't rely as much on financialization, the shareholders of Walmart absolutely do. And they are the ones who make the decisions. Airlines might run on razor-thin profit margins. But what do you think the people who own the airlines are worth? Do you have any idea on how we as a society could lessen the influence of global? You people can't even take your trash out. You let the trash in the kitchen pile up until the banana peels are touching the lid of the trash. Focus on your own damn problems, okay? You're not doing shit. It'll all be fine. Oh, that's actually good to hear. Ugh. You people are so emotionally dependent on the news you hear from me. It's frustrating. I just want to talk about what I think is going to happen. I don't want to have to massage all of you afterwards. Very frustrating. I can tell a lot of you are just acting out of despair. Then don't? Wow, great advice. What am I looking at right now? Nah, chat's not the worst. It's fine. Everything's fine. If I got it in my head that chat was bad, I would be no better than the people in chat who keep asking me for reassurance that the world isn't going to end in their lifetime. Ah, yes, the Trump surveillance package. Something Trump no doubt had no idea about until some deep state crony told him to pay attention to it. Congress is set to take up the reauthorization of a divisive program that lets U.S. spy agencies pore over foreigners' calls, texts, and emails, with supporters like Trump saying it has saved lives, while critics point to long-standing concerns about warrantless surveillance of Americans. Thank you, AP News, for being impartial and factual as always, by saying an incorrect thing from Donald Trump and juxtaposing it to, just the erosion of our, constitutional liberties. Either or. 6-7. A key provision of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act permits the CIA, NSA, FBI, and other agencies to collect and analyze vast amounts of overseas communications without a warrant. It incidentally sweeps up the conversations of any Americans who interact with those foreigners targeted for surveillance. Oh, incidentally. The program expires Monday, and critics want changes, including a requirement for warrants before authorities can access the emails, phone calls, or text messages of Americans. They also want limits on the government's use of internet data brokers who sell large volumes of personal info gleaned online, offering the government what critics say amounts to an end run around the Constitution. House Republican leaders hope to advance the legislation on Wednesday, but an initial procedural step was delayed. Rank and file members have pushed back despite a pressure campaign that included a trip to the White House and direct involvement from John Ratcliffe. Trump calling for another extension of the program. U.S. authorities say the program, known as Section 702 of the law, is essential to national security. This shit's going to pass. Probably. It's been known to happen. Then again, Mike Johnson delays FISA renewal vote after conservative revolt. What are they arguing about over there? Conservatives vowing to vote no on the procedural rule vote? whereas House Speaker Mike Johnson can afford to lose only 2 members. What amendment are they pushing for? What would conservatives want? They trying to add more pedophilia to the bill? What is the... Some GOP, some amendments, while others said they shouldn't advance the bill without attaching an unrelated bill requiring proof of citizenship to vote. What the fuck, dude? Oh, no. We just need to, just a little rider. We're just going to clip on the Save America Act onto this 18-month FISA renewal. Just let me attach this, and it's like a gigantic binder. Just clip that on, you know. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Oh, these people are such LARPers, dude. Jesus Christ. It would never, ever, ever happen. They just want to prove to Trump they love the Save America Act so much. God, they're so fucking stupid. Hey, Trump, did you see? Did you see how I tried to add that as a precondition for the renewal of the 18-month renewal for the FISA vote? Jesus fuck. Nobody's talking about this, man. Yesterday, NSI hosted AI on the Battlefield, Guardrails, Government Authority, and the Future of Public-Private Defense Partnerships. I'm going to lose my mind, man. A public panel that explored the durable frameworks needed to support long-term collaboration between government and industry as AI becomes more central to national security. It's everything. It's everything. It's the whole thing, man. Mason Nat Secretary Jamil and Jaffer led discussions between Palantir's Major General Charles Cleveland. I'm sorry, Palantir's Major General? Yep, retired U.S. Army Major General, currently a senior counselor at Palantir Technologies. I'm depressed. They're openly pro-mass surveillance. Yep, and this is the person that C-SPAN brought on to talk about Section 702, the FISA renewal. Live from Major General Charles Cleveland. These are all tools that enable policy. While the technology can provide mass surveillance, it is also able to discriminate. The debate should be less about how to restrict the use of this tech and about how to mandate these sectors to use it for national security purposes. Right. We shouldn't get rid of the technology. We have to responsibly implement it. People forget all past presidents feared the FBI director more than anyone else, even though the president hires them. Yeah, though it's worth keeping in mind that over the past 50 years, the power has been deferred from the FBI director, who is a presidential appointee, to the ghouls working in the FBI. Like, there's been a concerted effort over the past, 40 years of technocracy to move power away from elected officials, to turn them into, blustering, public-facing mascots, while the real power is further centralized in the administrative state and in the capital bureaucracy. You don't want some idiot president or idiot oligarch or idiot congressman having power. They might actually do stuff for their constituency. You don't want any random politician who may or may not have good intentions. You don't want them to be able to make decisions. Kind of like how Gavin Newsom tried out being anti-Israel for a bit, and then all of a sudden the deep state went out and silenced him. And yes, there is a heavy degree of collaboration between those Jewish civil rights groups, AIPAC lobbying, and the MIC they all defer to. It's just a way of extending the control of that institution into civil agencies. Weren't a few of the people in the list of those who work for the NSI for civil agencies? I think we saw some reps for black rights or whatever. You have to capture everything, leave nothing untainted. The cancer has to spread to every single bone, every muscle in the body. No, I just think you saw non-white people. Nice meme. In dealing with these deep state freaks, why do they not seem to understand the threat climate change has? For the same reason that middle managers in literally every job on Earth in every country at all points in time will prioritize their own short-term rat race over long-term global existential concerns. Everyone has always been like this. They all have bunkers? No, they don't. These guys don't have bunkers, the majority of them. They are just middle management, you know? Go find a middle manager for any evil company and ask them about it. Go find a middle manager for Nestle. Hey, how do you feel about Nestle trying to restrict water use rights in Africa? And they'll be like, dude, I'm just trying to do my job. It's like that for all of them. It's all about self-interest. It's not that they're ideologically evil. I mean, they are. They are by consequence. But it is a matter of self-interest. It's an incentive structure. These people would exist no matter what. So you could bend them towards good ends? No. They're middle managers for a structure that prioritizes the accumulation of capital over all other things. There's no way to direct that towards a good end. Okay, we gotta get to something else, man. We gotta get to something less depressing. I'm looking at my Reddit. People are mad. Damn, this guy's really mad. What the hell? Hold on, we love these. I'm done. After the 2024 election, Vaush's content went on a massive downhill slide. I don't think anyone can really disagree with this. I do. I could overlook it since he was obviously depressed. That could explain why his takes became more emotional and rational. Guy who can't justify his position. I think everyone else is more emotional than they are rational. 1.5 years, he has improved, gotten worse. Pushing accelerationism, which is magical thinking at best and evil at worst. Ignoring the global fascist uprising in favor of 90% coverage of Dems. Okay, this guy's just a liberal. Gotcha. All right, we've sussed out the archetype. Left-wing equivalent of a channel like The Quartering. Now he's just said fascism is impossible because of the global economy, which means his obsession with Democrats has denigrated him to a point where he's forgotten what fascism means. This is why it's important to talk about this stuff. This is why it's important, because if we can't break out of the rat race of like, oh, if we beat the Republicans, then nothing is ever going to get done. Nothing changed under Biden, man. Really, nothing changed under Obama. The first thing Obama did was not go after the people responsible for 2008. Nothing changes, man. Nothing changes. If you can't understand this, then you're not really cut out for being a socialist. You think you're a socialist because you don't like the Republicans? That's true. It's just the mindset that there's good guys and bad guys. It's baby brain. Yeah, it's baby brain. Do you think the implication that, like, I don't criticize Republicans is kind of funny, though? You know? Don't know what content you're watching. That one felt good. They counted on a rural dialysis unit to keep them alive, then it closed. That's crazy. Who'd you vote for? I can guess. I guess I'll just bloat up and die in a month. Piper or Peeper, who knows? Pieper remembered thinking when he learned the center was closing, eliminating his only option near his home. Who'd you vote for? Ask him about trans people. Ask him about trans people. Others are making long drives to other dialysis centers. Piper eventually found treatment in Scottsbluff, which, with about 14,000 residents, is the biggest city in the rural panhandle region of western Nebraska. The 1.5-hour drive will triple his time on the road to more than 9 hours each week. Ooh, and gas prices are up. Trump with the 1-2 blow to this guy's kidneys, you know? Maybe he should DoorDash? Yeah, but buddy, just DoorDash the dialysis. Come on. Sheesh, no wonder. 30 hospitals in Kansas are closing too. Damn, that's crazy. Who'd they vote for? I'm so hateful. Why did you all argue with me today? Why was everyone mean to me? I don't remember anything specific happening. I just feel like you guys were mean to me. Why were you that? Why'd you do that? Do you hold the stance it's possible for people to not believe in difference between sex and gender out of genuine belief, or is it all bigotry always? I don't think that you're innately bigoted if you think that sex and gender are the same thing. I just think that you're, at best, not stupid. You haven't thought about it very much. But you're probably just stupid. I think that most of the time when people pretend to have that belief, they're just refusing to engage with it deliberately, because they know that if they investigated it, they would uncover answers to questions that they don't want answered. They want to remain ignorant. Like, I think it's willful ignorance, which might as well be stupidity in a lot of cases. There's a lot of, like, really obvious 101 questions that you can arrive at super duper quickly. For one, it's worth understanding that biological sex is not binary, it's bimodal. This is a fact. It can't be argued with. There is no objective single definition of a sex marker. Even if you go by something like gametes, small or large gametes, you still have internal problems with, like, chromosomal abnormalities. There's a lot of stuff that, like, the idea that it's as simple as flipping a switch, it's just not true. It's bimodal. The world is always more complicated than you think it is. Everyone should embrace that fact, that the world is always more complicated than you think. You know, I don't understand. I feel like you need a very small mind to want the world to be incredibly simple. Isn't it nice that in every field, in every, like, little minute field, every area of study, there's some great nuance to be found? Isn't that the magic of the world that we've been born into? Anyway, so leaving that aside, gender and sex are very obviously different things, because there are tons of things that we associate with being a woman or a man that are just not down to biology, the easiest of which being, like, hairstyle and hair length. There is nothing about biology that dictates that women have longer hair, but we seem interested in it. Clothing, absolutely. Clothing differences. There's so many things that have nothing to do with biology. We've built up a bunch of social attributions that have nothing to do with biology. These are obvious gender differences. That is a difference between sex and gender, you know? There's a bunch about me that's determined by sex, but this shirt is men's wear for reasons that have nothing to do with biology. Different social arcs, you know? The course of history, it shifts. Like, the fact that we, in Japan, like a kimono, which is, you know, a robe, you know, in some respects similar to a dress, it's not considered a man or a woman thing, you know? It's just an article of clothing, an antiquated formal article of clothing. But over here, we have different, you know, ascribed beliefs about it and what it might imply about a person's gender or even their sexuality. What is this?
If I don't have a check for $63, I can't get my packages?
Correct.
When did this start? Because I don't have checks, I only have a credit card. Can you take a credit card?
I don't take that.
So I ordered something, and if I don't have a check for $63, I can't receive it because of tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
This is wild.
I know. It is wild, and I'm sorry.
So what do you do with my packages? Because I would have to go to the bank, and I have to
hold them for 3 days.
Let me go see with my mom.
You get 3 attempts.
I don't use checks anymore. I use credit card and Apple Pay. Hold on, let me go look for a check. Hold on. I got no.
God, the inside of this house, man. That's a Trump voting house if ever I saw one. Some gigantic, unfinished McMansion. Very Israeli. Very Israeli. The American empire could have led the world in green energy tech and revolutionized the world, but neoliberalism said, no, oil, gas, coal. Yeah. The fucked up thing is that, like, again, all of these systems are self-reinforcing. If we had already had, like, a massive entrenched corporate interest in producing green energy, then the deep state would have gone with that route. It would have been a better world. It would have gone with that route. The only reason it didn't was because there's so much legacy interest in fossil fuels. But if we had, you know, a bunch of really powerful solar companies or whatever, the deep state would have been aligned towards that. It's value neutral. It's only interested in self-promotion. Soaking is kinky. There was a big soaking scene at Kinkfest in Portland on Easter. Multiple people jumping on the mattress while a crowd chanted soak. At Kinkfest, you can just, like, fuck in there, right? That's crazy, man. Getting a whole crowd to get you to soak. I feel like past a certain point, I don't know. I feel like the whole point of soaking is the bizarre intimacy of having your friend sub in, you know? I don't know if having a crowd do it is quite the same. Weird shit. Well, it is Kinkfest. I hope getting corporations to betray each other out of greed makes some sense, though. Unfortunately, it doesn't really. That's not really how it works. Corporations compete on a very superficial level, but the internal management of corporations swap between each other all the time, you know? You can work in the middle management of one company and then the next and the next and the next. People bounce around all the time between them. Yeah, the boards are interwoven. The old days of corporations like really beefing with each other, like the American railroad companies or whatever, those days are gone. Corporations are now intertwined, you know? Like everyone's on the same team. They only compete superficially. In a way, it functions similar to feudal aristocracy. Yeah, like aristocrats within an aristocracy could fight with one another, but they would never fight with one another in a way that would allow the peasantry to win. Does that make sense? Like, individual aristocrats might fight with each other, but their fights will only ever lead to the acquisition of land for another aristocrat. It will never ever lead to an acquisition of land by the peasantry. It never works to the benefit of the peasantry. This woman distills points you've made about how sexless the Manosphere is. It's only 137 long. That doesn't help.
Men are just not horny enough anymore. And I'm not going where you think I'm going, so don't start. The statistics are out. No one's getting married or fucking like they used to. Gen Z men are more conservative on gender roles than boomers. In other words, we are an anti-sex generation. And looks maxing is the perfect microcosm for this. When mass market advertising emerged in the early 1900s, the beauty industry quickly realized that self-loathing is very profitable. Women, being the household purchasers, were targeted with several iconic campaigns. Today, the same industry repackaged is valued at over $350 billion annually. As the nuclear family structure dissolves, it is not enough to prey on female insecurity and body dysmorphia. So enter looks maxing. While the premise of the Manosphere and the beauty industrial complex are the same, to increase your social desirability, its execution is anti-sex. Boob jobs decrease your sensitivity and mobility, BBLs can literally kill you, Ozempic starves you, anabolic steroids increase your risk of erectile dysfunction and infertility. What is looks maxing if not the desexualization of the body? We are remaking.
I don't want to watch any more of this, but I generally agree with these points. Yeah, Athena, it's not really about horniness, I guess. It's about like social interconnectivity and the relationship between being horny and your relationship with other people. It is true though, like for the most part, looks maxing and what it represents broadly in the incel movement is just an effort to expand the beauty industry into the male demographic. They've been trying unsuccessfully for a while with, like, I don't know, dude wipes or whatever. That's the kind of like the angle they've been using for a bit, but now we're trying. The corporations make more money if everyone has body dysmorphia.
Today, a real cowboy tries on a pair of jeans with 200 layers of starch.
Oh, I've seen this, yeah.
With 200, that it could be another grandpa with that chair to get him up and standing. But wait, the cowboy has a surprise for you. Make sure to follow to see how this cowboy puts on his boot.
Just like me for real, yeah. Naked and famous 40-ounce denim. It's funny as fuck. Diaper ass. Love the show. Have you seen the Sam Altman universal basic income stuff post Molotov? Yeah, it's really, 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 really funny. Like the narrowest brush with mortality and noted pedophile and antichrist Sam Altman is like, don't do that. Universal healthcare. Just remember, and it sounds edgy, but it is a fact that historically the only reason why people in power have ever given poor people anything was because if they didn't, they feared for themselves. It sounds edgy. It's literally true. That's just factually for all of human history. The only reason kings, pharaohs, aristocrats, robber barons, and everyone else, it was a cost-benefit analysis. If they could get away with taking everything, they did. And if they couldn't, they didn't. That's it. That's it. There's never been another, like all of modern democracy, modern legal theory, it's ways of creating incentive structures that are more granular than does the peasant uprising kill you? You know? The whole point of regulations and laws are to create environments where there are ways of disincentivizing that kind of behavior from your social superiors that are more granular and less severe than just rising up and taking matters into your own hands. So, you know.
Option 1, the large handbag. Perhaps the most ideal bag for any man for any occasion. Nothing says a man's bag more than a bag that literally inflicts the most strain on your arms with no other alternative for carry. At the end of your commute, you'll still look stylish and have the sickest pump. Can we make the bags bigger, please?
God damn, this looks good. Look at that, man. God damn. High-waisted, boot cut, lovely belt, lovely purse, lovely scarf.
Bigger? Yes, bigger. Thank you. Ah, that's more like it.
Option 2, the tote bag.
Though for many, the tote bag is a signifier of a performative male, avid coffee drinkers, veganism, this, and Jacob Elordi pre-Bottega Veneta art. However, its versatility in design and general affordability make it a formidable bag choice.
Option 3,
the crossbody. Another kind of...
I feel like the bag feminizes him too much. I'm not hating you here. I just want you to know, I guarantee you this fit is more masculine than whatever you're wearing. Guys today will wear like skinny fit tees that are estrogenizing them with their microplastics so much that they start to lactate through the fucking 98% polyester fiber count. And then they'll be like, oh, those high-waisted jeans? I don't know. This looks fantastic.
Thank you. Named.
I'm sorry, that was too much.
Derived from how it's wielded, the crossbody is really just any bag that goes across the body. Another variation of the crossbody bag is called the sling bag. And it's called a sling bag because you sling it.
Can I stop now?
You can never stop.
Option 4,
the shoulder bag. Perhaps the most unisex form of bag, the shoulder bag comes in many variations. You've got the impolitely named hobo bag, you've got the bucket bag, you've got the classic messenger, which is most men's evolution after the backpack.
Number 5, what the hell? Where's the... Oh, number 5, the duffel bag.
So used mainly for travel or the gym, the duffel bag could be the appropriate bag for you based on the size of your load. I mean, the duffel bag could be the right bag for you based on the size of your package.
All right,
Jesus
you goofball.
Christ.
All right, you goofball.
Option 6, the clutch.
Now, likely to be the most unlikely for most men, the clutch does offer the least amount of space, but the maximum amount of style. Now, if you're a man, it's totally okay if some of these styles don't feel masculine enough. After all, you're a man. You probably want that. It's crucial to remember that a lot of things in fashion float along a spectrum, all right? But the most important thing is that it's just a bag. It's meant to hold your load. It's meant to hold your package. It's meant to hold your balls, okay? It's meant to hold your... It's material, and it's meant to help you.
The problem is that, like, backpacks are objectively the best kind of bag you can carry. In terms of, like, weight distribution, posture, everything, nothing beats a backpack. Does Wisdom Kai have any videos on good backpacks? Backpacks can look good with streetwear, but unfortunately, for a lot of styles, backpacks are pretty incongruous. Streetwear, gorpcore, techwear, anything that looks like the style was invented after the 1980s, anything that looks youthful, glorpcore? No, gorpcore. I don't know. I like bags. It's just like if you're carrying stuff any kind of distance, it's so much more convenient to have it on your back. Dye workwear, backpacks. I think, yeah, Dye Workwear did one on this with some like backpack suggestions. Technical backpack, stuff that have more like military inspiration. But a backpack is always going to look rugged, you know? A backpack is just innately a rugged way of carrying stuff around. The reason why we tend to associate we tend to associate handbags and stuff or suitcases more with suits is because you can't wear a backpack over a suit. The canvased torso, the lining up here by the shoulder, can be damaged if you wear a backpack over them. So you want to hold something in your hand. Coat and Seal does some that don't look rugged aesthetically. Sure, but there's still going to be, yeah. This fits in like the streetwear category. I mean, it's not. You wouldn't wear this with anything that isn't casual. Well, you can if you want to, but this one's pretty refined. Visvim. Jesus Christ, I can't imagine how expensive this is. You should get this. Japanese bespoke raglan sleeves wool coat. Not really my thing, I'm afraid. If I was going to have a big wool coat, I would want it to be a polo coat. Kind of doesn't have any shape. It's more common in like Japanese clothing, you know? Very shapeless, very drapey, right? You know, the kimono robe, big rectangle of fabric. But Western wear, historically, not Western as in cowboys, but Western as in like European, it tends to be very shaped, you know? As a fellow millennial, what are your thoughts on the millennial early 2010s hipster archetype? Do you mean from like an aesthetic perspective? Do you mean like a like the fashion associated with it? Or do you mean like broadly? Because broadly, that's a really big topic. If you mean the fashion, the main thing it strikes of to me is performativity and insincerity. I think that fashion or that aesthetic should stem from a deep and sincere appreciation of things that derive from specific historical roots. So an example would be, I like a lot of Western wear, and to me, a lot of that stems from like an appreciation for the Navajo or for like Native American contributions or Mexican contributions to what we consider Americana now. I don't mean you need to be like super knowledgeable about everything, but I do think it's nice when there is a kind of deeper appreciation than just aesthetics, right? And I think that a lot of the stuff we think of with like the 2010 hipster look, with the like I'm thinking like very, very skinny jeans that are low rise, and then you have like the suspenders and the flannels and so on. It just reeks of insincerity. Seeing you with a bullet in your neck like Kirk would be so great. Not gonna happen, buddy. I can dodge. I got skills he didn't. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, anyway, I think sincerity matters. What about how Vaush maintains his beard? I do not do anything to maintain my beard. I'm sorry, I just don't. I shampoo it in the morning. That's it. You can't use a non-Apple smartwatch with the iPhone normally outside the EU because your laws don't mandate it? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, you mean like compatibility laws. Gotcha. Okay. If you try to use most of the non-Apple watches with an iPhone, it'll eat away at the battery of the watch extremely fast. It's very cucked. I literally just want like a basic health watch. I'll pay a decent amount of money for it to be good. So I guess the Apple Watch is a good idea. Let me see. Aluminum titanium. The titanium case increases the cost by $300. Titanium's worth it, but for longevity and durability. My Apple Watch doesn't allow me to do continuous heart rate monitoring. What's the point of an Apple Watch if it's not monitoring your heart rate? I know it won't do a perfect job because there's no chest strap, but like, yeah, I guess my issue is the fact that it's from Apple makes me think that it's not going to work in like a couple of years, you know? Look at the Vivo Smart. That looks kind of cute. Why do you say that? Because Apple deliberately slows down older models to incentivize you buying new ones? Because they're really into deliberately planned obsolescence? My watch is close to 7 years old. It still works amazingly. So it'd be this, right? The Apple Series 11? Man, the titanium fucking increases the cost so much. Titanium plus sapphire glass. I guess the durability is pretty cool. It just looks so bulky. Even the 42 millimeter? Get a Garmin? Garmin watch. These are just as expensive. Yeah, but they look way better. They look and work better. They definitely don't work better for an iPhone. I do kind of like the idea of pairing it with my iPhone and having all the data there. Like, I guess I just don't really want to like fiddle with it. I just want to have it on my wrist. And then I open my phone and my phone has all the data. Then you want an Apple Watch? Does it have to be titanium? I don't even know if I like the titanium straps. What if these are cooler looking? The little plastic ones. Because the titanium ones look so try-hard. This looks so try-hard. Go in the store, son? Yeah, I guess that's one benefit of Apple. I can go into the store and like just try it out myself. I don't really need to speculate. That's true. I need to go up pretty soon. I need to go visit the University Mall anyway. They've got an Apple store there. Why are you even considering titanium? Because I would be wearing this while hiking. If I'm wearing this while hiking, I don't want to like stumble and, you know, destroy it. All right. Buy this and you'll be happy. This is $1,100. Just aluminum is fine for that? If aluminum is fine for hiking, what possible use case could justify titanium? I have the aluminum since 2020. Okay. It's that premium feel mostly. If you're going titanium, you might as well go for the Ultra. The Ultra is like $1,000. Okay, no. I'm an evangelical now. All right. Ultra and Series 11 titanium prices are about the same. Then what benefit is the Ultra? Bigger button, more durable? Sounds cooler? Okay. Bigger most. I don't want bigger. I want it smaller. I don't want to use this to watch like fucking YouTube or whatever. That's what my phone is for. Whatever. Listen. Okay. I will go to an Apple store. For something passive. Doesn't the Oura ring or whatever it's called require a fucking subscription? I am not doing that shit. Also, I don't like rings. They recently did a deal with Palantir. Oh yeah, I remember that. They did a deal with Palantir as well. You put the Oura ring on your cock and it tells the IDF whether or not your children deserve to live, and if they don't, they sterilize you. 3D scan of asshole. Okay, we gotta read donos. My cortisol. Check out this evil canyon. That is evil. That's extremely evil. Canyons have a very evil energy in the same way that mountains have a good energy. Apple works, but is pricey and dumb. I recommend Garmin Instinct, basic sturdy sports watch with 30-day plus battery. These Garmin watches do look good, and I can't say I like how they actually look, you know, but they look good in terms of feature. I guess the issue for me is like, I want it to go to my phone. The Garmin Instinct does sync to your phone, record sleep, heart rates, Apple compatible app. It's dumb and works. Okay. If it comes down to that, then it really might just be like, I'm going to go to the Apple store and see if I like it. You know? If I go to an Apple store and I don't know if I can get a Garmin nearby, but if I can go to an Apple store and I like it, then I'll probably go with that. And if I can't, I won't. I want the case to be as small as possible, but also fuck Best Buy. That's true. Apple Watch with cellular temp paralyzed my wrist. If you feel your wrist weak, bail. I don't know what you're talking about. But that sounds spooky. I guess I'd have to learn about that. Sometimes I wake up and my arm is very, very asleep because I always sleep in the same way. I sleep on my side with my arm hooked under my pillow. So there's a lot of weight on my inner wrist. I would like to learn how to sleep on my back because I think that's supposed to be better for you. Recommend a Garmin Instinct. Okay, that's 2 votes for the Garmin Instinct 2. It's worth keeping in mind. Do you like and are good at games in the RTS genre? I adore RTS games for their single-player campaigns. I love a difficult, well-constructed single-player campaign for an RTS. I don't touch the multiplayer. I know that sounds insane, but I really like it. I adored brutal all achievements runs on StarCraft 2. I adored the Warcraft 3 campaign. I've played it through God knows how many times. I loved them. Loved them. Yeah. Ever played Command & Conquer? Couldn't really get into it, you know? I tend not to like... Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't really get into it. Can't really get into the Dawn of War games either, which is a shame, because there's a lot of them. I would also love the Total War games if they had more linear campaigns. Like, I enjoy Total War games until it gets to the point where every turn you're just managing like 6 unstoppable armies slowly grinding down the empires at the outer edges of your borders. If it was a more directed experience, I think I'd enjoy it more. I just don't really like the 4X elements of Total War. I would rather just do the battles without much strategic consideration. You played Shogun 3? No, I've only played Total War Warhammer 2 and 3. Command & Conquer General is more realistic than Command & Conquer. It might just be the way those games play. I have yet to play an RTS game that was anywhere near as good as what Blizzard put out for their single-player campaigns. StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2, and Warcraft 3 are like so far above any other single-player campaigns for any RTSs ever that it feels insane to even compare them, you know? Diplomacy is not an option. Hey, what was the name of that weird indie RTS where you play as animals fighting for control in like a communist Animal Farm world? It's like the bread was eaten, the meat was eaten, something? Tooth and Tail. This one was really good. Really, really fucked with this one. It's really cute. Look, see? It's like little 2D sprites. You control it's meant to be played with a controller. You control a commander and you build and command units around them. Play the music. Seems gay. You can definitely tell from the sprite work that the game was made by a homosexual. Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, I recommend if you want challenging campaigns, all skulls on. I have heard mixed things about Halo Wars. I'm a little bit loath to attempt to play... I think it's a controller-based RTS. You know, I played StarCraft 1 Brood War on the Nintendo 64. They ported it to the N64, and I had it, because I didn't have a computer at the time. I played that shit with a damn analog stick. What's wrong with you? I was like 6 years old. It was only original on the Nintendo 64, not Brood War. Is that true? Because I very distinctly remember playing the Terran campaign mission where you use ghosts to commandeer battleships. On the Nintendo 64. I have a very specific memory of using the N64 controller to move the ghosts around. No, anyway. Take care. Please take care of yourselves. Take care.